Hi Adam. Okay. First of all, are you Team Godzilla or Team King Kong? Why?
Well, if I said that, it might give away too many things. So, I'm like I'm going to give you one of those like, kind of lame proud parent answers where I say I love both of my children just equally the same, which is actually true. From the get-go, I always knew who I thought would win in the fight, but that has nothing to do with the fact that I love them both. So, they're both cool in their own ways.
I would probably be Team Godzilla. I like dinosaurs.
Yeah, I think Godzilla, just because he kind of launched my film career. I've got to say loyal.
Godzilla? なぜかと言われたら、そこはやはり日本人なのでっていうところかな。
The reason simply because I'm a Japanese person.
Because I'm able to sign with Kong.
This is our only chance. We have to take it.
Well, I knew it was going to be important that this film had to pick a winner, that we couldn't just like cop out like the original film, which I love the original King Kong versus Godzilla. But the problem with the film is, and I think most of the fans would tell you as well, is that it doesn't pick a side. At the end of the film, it's interpretational who won, really. And the problem with that is that when you're a kid on the schoolyard with your friends, you're having this debate, about who would win in a fight with Godzilla versus Kong. And there's nothing to point to. You can't say, well, he won in this movie. And so for me, this was the opportunity to get in there and try to settle that argument once and for all. But knowing that, I also knew that we're going to have an equal number of Godzilla fans as we are Kong fans coming into it. And so the movie has to satisfy both worlds. And I think the route that we discovered with it, which happened very organically, I think it satisfies both, but definitely picks a winner. But it was very important that the movie still gives both of these characters an equal amount of awesomeness to shine.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out which team are you in from your answer, but okay, fine.
I'll never tell.
Yeah, with technology and also the visual effects, it's getting harder to please or impress the audience. What do you think you have done to this film in order to achieve a certain kind of freshness for the audience?
That's a good question. I mean, I think in terms of VFX, you're getting to something interesting, which is that VFX always it ages quickly. Like CGI, any type of special effects, it's like in just a couple years, everything's going to look outdated. And so, but I look back at, like, for instance, the original Godzilla movies or the original King Kong film, which is stop motion. It's like I look at King Kong and I think, does this look photorealistic? Does this look believable? No, it doesn't look real at all. It looks like a stop motion, ape. But it looks really cool. It looks interesting and it's engaging, and I still get the emotion from it. And it holds up. It's kind of timeless in a weird way because it just works on its own kind of rules. And so whenever I was approaching the VFX in this film, I tried to think of it in those terms, not just trying to think, how do I make this as realistic as possible? Because all these CGI effects are going to be outdated in a few years. I was always trying to think, how do we make this as interesting as possible? And how do we keep the audience emotionally engaged with it? And so, for instance, when you're dealing with large monsters, you usually have to slow them down a lot of the times because to represent the scale. Because when things are really big, they seem to look slower. It just looks more realistic, in other words. But I knew that I wanted the action in this film to be really fast-paced, and so I worked with the VFX team in terms of what we did is we created all the effects around the monsters, the smoke, the glass shards, the debris is all moving kind of slowly to give the scale approach, but the monsters themselves we have moving just as fast as a normal person could punch and all those kind of things. And what it does is it almost creates a stop motion vibe to it. It's like it's it's not necessarily more realistic, but it creates an effect because you're just sucked into it, and so it has this sort of CGI stop motion feel. It's almost like a hybrid kind of thing to it, because to me it's like the way that this movie is going to hold up over time is just because it's engaging, not because, oh, this is the most realistic movie I've ever seen, because there's just no way that you can do that, because, you know, in 20 years we're going to look back at every movie now, we're going to be like, you know, that looks awful. With that said, technology is at a great point, and like CGI is better than it's been, and the detail level's better, and you can do a lot more things than you've ever been able to do before. So.
And they're the last ones standing.
I keep reaching for greatness because I'm built from it.
Who bows to who?
Nobody gonna stop for me. Here we go.
Kong bows to no one.
Here we go.